Carl and Damon here from Games, Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. It's they made what into a TV series. Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. The slog continues. Season 2, episode 16. Nerd is the word. Written by Jim Magon. And we begin, hilariously, I felt like this was a joke. We begin in the midst of a ghost attack that lasts like 30 seconds at most as Pac immediately solves it. I know the whole ghost, I mean, as animators and writers, right? You must have just got tired having the right ghost attacks in because, like, you just,
Yeah.
there's no energy, there's no life to them. It plays out the same way. Hell, have you noticed something? They don't even have that much imagination with the power berries anymore.
No,
It's
no.
now broken down to being like a handful. One's icy, one's breathe fire, one's a lizard, one's a robot, and that's about it, I think.
Yep.
Anyway, Skibo emerges from a bin and accuses Pac of thinking his shit don't stink, basically. Of course, here's Cillian Spiral to go, shut up, Skiba, Pac's the best, and I was like, of course, there they are. But Skiba points out that Pac always ends up eating others' food and even ruined a school dance because of his appetite. And I was a bit like, okay, this is at least going back to when we first introduced this character, and that was the
Yep.
whole thing about his greed and was a big issue for Skibo. Pac does have some guilt over this, right? But before he can even consider that and learn a lesson, here's Cillian Spiral to go, Pac deserves all the food in the world. Fuck you, Skibo. I mean, they're not as, they're not quite
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
it, but yeah, it's the same thing. However, Skibo walks away calling Pac selfish. Now, I will defend Pac here. He's a lot of things. He's not selfish. He spends most of his time saving Pac Wonders and fighting ghosts and all of that. Can't really call him selfish, right?
I'd say more arrogant. I think but not arrogant by himself, but arrogant because of the way people have bigged him up to be arrogant.
Yeah. Anyway, cut to Betrayus who's sick of being defeated. You and me both, mate. You and me both. And seeing it on the news. He changes the channel and he and Dr. B settle down to watch a drama called As the Netherworld Turns. I laughed. It's
Yeah.
stupid
Yeah.
as
It was funny.
yeah. Butler ends up suggesting that they find a way to infiltrate Pac's school, a la an exchange student. Betrayus likes it. Why? What about this plan is any... that's what I'm saying. It's like, we said it before. Just like King K. Rool, just like Professor Pester, Betrayus doesn't want to win. He wouldn't know what to do if he actually won.
The answer's simple. Okay, you infiltrate the school, you poison the food, Pac dies. So, yeah.
You just,
Yeah.
you just, you
Yeah,
just infiltrate the school and just stab him to death. I know, like that, but do you know what I mean? But like, there are ignoring the violent way, but there's got to be better ways to do it than this.
Food poisoning, man. He eats all the food. It's poisonous food.
There it is. Skibo and his gang continue to call out Pac and the rest, and it's beginning to make them think they've gotten too big for their boots. That's what Spiral and Cillian Pac actually say. Like, so, is there a chance that they actually have a moment of reflection and go, everybody seems to be saying the same thing. What are we doing a little, maybe it's us. So they think, okay, what we need to do is show everyone that we're normal students. But how? And I was like, oh my God, you actually are this arrogant. Like, you think you're celebrities. The fact that your first port of call isn't to try and fix your behavior. It's to try and
Mhm.
convince everybody that we're just normal people. What, it sounds like sort of things celebrities do when they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go down to the soup kitchen. Or like when you see like a photo shoot of King Charles, serving food or an MP serving food to the homeless or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but here's the photo shoot and here's the camera
Yeah.
people and all this. You're not that nor. It just felt a bit like that. We're like, oh, well, show them we're normal people.
Yeah.
How
All
was
they
that
all
your
they needed
first thought?
all they needed was like off camera was like give them a blanket to wash their hands after they shook a person's hand. And so
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, cut to the Netherworld where Betrayus is introduced to robot legs and insists that Butler be the one to wear them and try to infiltrate the school. Why is this the plan? How do we get from infiltrate the school to robot legs? And why Butler, the one ghost that's in Betrayus' inner circle, who really doesn't want to be? No, he doesn't even hide it. Anyway, Dr. B makes him up to look like a nerdy kid, and off he goes, I'll bet with some trouble, because it's robotic legs. Has trouble controlling him, which is going to be this episode's one joke.
Yeah.
At school, Pac and the gang intervene when Skibo starts to bully the newly arrived butler, who's going by the name of Herbert from Dweebia. Get it? Dweeb.
Yeah,
They see a chance to help him and improve his image, inviting him to stay with them. And oh my God, we've talked about poor messages in these shows before. Viva Pinata had some of the worst. Donkey
yeah,
Kong Country was hit and miss, and this show has definitely been hit and miss. But what kind of messages to send about? We've had an issue all the way through whether the writing of Pac and Seeley and Spiral has not always been geared to make them the most likable. In
yeah,
this, they only offer to help Herbert to improve their freaking image.
yep.
That is what are we? What?
I know. Yeah, that's like proper. It's like bloody reverse psychology. It's proper, yeah.
It's just really, really poor. Like poor way to write them. It's
Hmm.
almost like the writing of this, right? It's like the person who wrote this, uh, Jim and Magon, does not like Pac and wants him to look like a bad guy. Unsurprisingly, Butler was having issues with the legs. The speaking, the behaviour, and the fact that Betrayus and Dr. B are fighting over a remote that can control the legs. So there you go, folks. For some reason, Betrayus and Dr. B, Buttocks, have a remote that can control the legs. And of course, they're fighting over it, making the legs go haywire. And that is how you get to your ending.
Yep.
They don't want to win. Never want to win.
They just want
The
to be
next,
involved.
yeah, just want a friend. That's it. The next day, Butler starts asking questions, hoping to get some information about how Pac might defend the world against Betrayus. What? Why do you need that information? You know how he defends the world. Pac does get ready to reveal a trick he uses to eat ghosts and belch at their eyes, but as he leans in to whisper in his ears, so does Dr. Petraeus and Dr. B at the mic, accidentally hitting a button on the remote and sending Butler spinning off. Again, he's able to play off the behavior, but Skibo goes in the offensive again, resulting in Pac defending Butler, who begins to start enjoying being protected by Pac. Then there's a couple of cool things here. First off, it made me laugh. The whole everyone leaning in to hear and having
Yeah.
even like Betrayus and thingy leaning. I thought it was a really funny thing to do. Um, but I also like the idea that Butler would start to come like Pax treating him nicely would start to like,
Yeah.
but Butler would start to enjoy that. You know, that's an angle I could see they were going to do it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah. Because obviously being potentially bullied by his boss, effectively,
Yeah,
constantly over and over again.
constantly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with more hijinks as Pac takes Butler on a hover ride that almost goes wrong. Betrayus is now getting frustrated by the fact that Butler only seems to be having fun. He's considering pulling the plug on things until Pac takes Butler to the roundhouse to meet President Spiros. Bit by bit, Butler starts to enjoy Pac's company and how he's being treated by others. The kindness that they're showing him confuses Betrayus and Dr. B in one of the funniest scenes the show has done. Their confusion over kindness is hilarious. The back and
Yeah.
forth conversation. What is this? What's going? Like, honestly, we don't. Oh, we don't praise the show enough sometimes. But I think it now is a good point just to remind everybody that this show looks great. It
Mhm.
can be funny, and oh my god, I'm gonna say this. It is the best one we've watched for voice acting. Just the energy, the life, the different styles, voice acting wise, it's the best show we've watched of all our animated shows. Outside of like outside of the biggies, I'm talking about the smaller ones we do. So like out of
Yeah.
Viva Pinata, Donkey Kong Country, uh, Legend of Zelda, these ones. Out of all of them, this is the best voice acted one.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Yeah.
It's time for the dance tonight, though. Randomly, there's a dance happening tonight, and I'm like, oh, this is why Skibo referenced it at the start. Pac
Yeah.
and company set out to help Butler dance. Apparently, what makes Pac so powerful is his agility. Okay.
Is that the first time that's been mentioned?
I just like we know Pac. Like, I just don't understand like how that's a surprise to anybody. We know he can
Yeah.
basically, but like it's flying and all that comes from power berries, so it's not related to that.
No.
But hearing that, Betrayus orders his ghost army to watch Pac dance to learn something. Betrayus, if you just want to have a dance off, just dance, do you know? That night it's the dance, and Pac is fighting a desperate urge not to eat all the food. They then introduce Butler, who starts to dance, but he accidentally hits the emergency eject button under his arm. He's now forced to fight the legs that are attempting to eject him, and his moves get Skibo laughing at him. But Pac and the others join in, and suddenly he creates a new dance. Don't mind that. That's a decent message to say to people. You know, Skibo laughing and everybody else getting involved. So Butler doesn't look like looks silly is a nice thing.
Yeah.
Pac bumps into Butler, knocking the slug camera off him as Skibo is humiliated. And I will say, we don't often say this either, Skibo probably deserved it this time.
Yeah, yeah.
The dance ends, and Butler is given a medal before running off to find the slug camera. Betrayus orders him back to the Netherworld, but Butler tries to talk his way out of it, revealing that they can beat Pac by attacking him from behind. What? What? The fact that Huanat, Betrayus is pleased, orders a ghost attack and demands that Butler return. He doesn't want to win. Do they know that Pac can turn around?
Maybe he can't turn left.
Maybe that's what it is, yeah. As he's leaving, Pac and the gang arrive, and Pac reveals he knew it was Butler all along. Pac was kind of Butler as he was just doing his job. What? Now, here's the thing. I get Pac just felt sorry for Butler. But it's the line, you're just doing your job. His job is to kill you, Pac Worlders, take over it with Betrayus.
Yep.
Like, that is not the same as, oh, you were just doing your job and it was, you know, this kind of sad little thing. He is on the side of evil, regardless of what Butler's intentions are.
As a line, and when he crossed the line, which he has crossed the line here.
They all rally around Butler, insisting they understand he's subservient to Betrayus. And oh my god, like, this is where the show just annoys the hell out of me. And this is where they've just dropped the whole thing. So, you know he's subservient to Betrayus, and because he's a ghost, he has no choice but to exist in the Netherworld. But you know he's on your side. He's your friend, and he would be part of your group. I don't know, guys. Maybe give him his body back then and he'll be on your side?
Yep.
But they just ignore that side of things completely. It's infuriating.
It is indeed.
Before Butler leaves, though, he does warn Pac about the incoming ghost attack, which starts and fails, which at least Betrayus does joke about it being the shortest invasion in history. The episode ends with Butler being brought back, but not before sliming Skibo, and that's how it ends. This is just, for me, I found this episode to be thoroughly frustrating. All because of all the things that I could see could be done better. It's not a bad episode again, because none of the Pac-Man episodes are actively bad, but I just wanted a little bit more than what we got again. I always want a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're just not getting it.
Again, it's that whole story again. It's a short episode, and they can't cram everything we want into a small episode. But if we could extend it over a period, then yeah.
Fair enough, but that is episode 16. Nerd is the word from season 2 of Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. You got any thoughts that you want to share? You know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.